Welcome to Getting Down to Business with your two amazing hosts, Ashley and Jill. My name is Sammy. I'm a student at the University of South Florida, entering my senior year with the Muma College of Business here at the Kate Tiedemann School of Business and Finance.
All right, that's a mouthful, Sammy. Thanks for joining us on the set. And we have a new set, so we're a little like, woo!
So
okay,
excited.
It's going to be fun today. We've got a lot of ground to cover, and I mean, you have 2 internships, you're the president of a student organization. So we're going to dive into all that. I'm Jill Brown, one of the advisors here with the Muma College of Business.
Ashley Curtis, Assistant Director with the Bishop Center for Ethical Leadership. Jill, before we dive into all of that, one of the things we're doing in this season is we're kicking things off for our guests to get to know our guests a little bit more about you, Sammy. So one of the questions we have to kick things off today is, can you describe a pivotal moment that you think has shaped who you are today in terms of the way that you view the world?
Wow, that's a great question. There's so many moments. So it was hard to pick one, but I think one moment was when I was really young. I had the opportunity to go visit my family in India. And I don't even remember how old I was. I think I was like 6 or 8 or something. I was just really young. And I remember seeing kids my age working. Like, they were younger than me and they were working. And, you know, experiencing that from a young age made me really realize that the problems I have are really not that serious. So I think it gave me really good perspective, you know, versus where I lived in St. Louis, Missouri. You know, when you kind of shrink your perspective, I think your problems become a lot bigger. So when you increase, you know, when I think about that experience, I think it always reminded me that my problems could always be so much worse. So I think that helped me kind of not make a big deal out of the issues that I had in my daily life.
That's really powerful.
Yeah, I know. It's heavy. I was like, ooh.
And to think at that age, right?
Yeah,
So.
I didn't really realize what, like, that kind of, it didn't really piece together until
Later in life, it kind of hit you.
Yeah.
I got you. All right. Well, we're going to get down to business and start asking some tough questions now, although I feel like that one was a big one. You worked in our office. Was it a full year? Did you work in our office a year?
Yes, it was a full year.
And you made an impact from the start. And Ashley and I talk about this as we have students come and work on our work in the office on campus, the changes that they go through, the growth that we see in the students. And you really took advantage of opportunities. You got involved. You were always willing to help out, jump in, whatever we needed. And because of that, I think that's led you to where you kind of sit today, literally and figuratively. But if you don't mind maybe sharing with our audience a little more about yourself, like, you know, why did you choose USF and getting involved on campus?
Yes. So originally I was going to do architecture. I completely did a 180 degree 3 days before I had to say yes to that accelerated master's program. I was like, no, I'm going to do finance. And I came to St. Petersburg, this specific campus, and I fell in love with it. You know, I was landlocked growing up. So I'd say as a senior in high school, I really loved the ocean. So I would say the location. But then I took a look more into it. Their finance program, like the finance program here, is really, really good. USF is very well connected within the area. And the Tampa Bay area is just a really great place to be in right now. There's so much going on. Fintech is growing really big in the St. Petersburg area. So I think it was just a combination of a lot of different things. Yeah. Also the ocean. I love the ocean.
Did she mention the ocean?
Did I mention the ocean?
I think it sold us all.
Yeah. And so being able to just go sit at campus and you know, the weather, my mood, I feel like my mental health really has a lot to do with the sun. I love the sun. I need it to be bright. So that was also a big reason. And what was the other question?
Let's see. What's your favorite thing to do every day?
Oh, every day. Well, okay. Coming here and the weather being really good, I hammocked in between. This is something I never did in St. Louis. This was definitely like when I moved to St. Pete. And I had a hammock in my backpack freshman year. And between classes, I would just go to the waterfront and I would just hammock. And I
That's
think
awesome.
it was really good compared to like scrolling. Like,
Yeah.
you can scroll in your room, but might as well scroll in a hammock.
Hammock in your backpack. Did you participate in the St. Pete, the pier, when they had that
I
world
wanted
record where
to.
they tried to bring as many?
Hammock,
I think they said
like
it
the
right.
hammock
Wow.
festival.
Yes,
Or like the,
yes.
Yeah, my roommates at the time, they all went, and I didn't go. I was like,
All right, next time we've all got to get in there because I have like 3 hammocks in my car.
yeah.
It's a great experience. There's nothing better.
It's
You're
very
just
peaceful,
I
just like you
nestled
said.
in.
Way better than scrolling. So,
Yeah.
all right,
Yeah.
I'll let you talk now, Ashley.
Oh, good. So Jill prefaced that you worked in our office.
Yes.
And you know, as we were prepping for today, one of the things we were thinking about is what was that process like for you? So
Yeah.
there's so many students who I think about looking at on-campus jobs, but could you share with our listeners a little bit more about what does that experience look like from applying to searching for a job? How did you find our opportunity in our office, and what did that application process look like?
So I found the job on Handshake. Handshake is the place to go if you want an on-campus job. And also, like, if you're, wanting to look into any other job, right? Handshake is for younger people. And so, yeah, I looked there and I applied, and then I got an email saying that they would, you guys would like to interview me. I was very nervous. I remember this. I was like, oh my God, okay, gotta calm down. And it was a virtual interview.
Ugh.
And it was just me. And I think it was like multiple, like I know Jeff was there. I don't know were you guys?
I don't
It
think I was
was-
on it. There was limited as to. Were you
I
on
think
it?
It was me,
Yes.
Jeff,
And
and
maybe
I think one other person.
Julie?
But I don't think you were able to make
No.
it. Yes, I think it was
Julie. So it was 3 people, 3 against 1. No, I'm just kidding. And I remember, I think it went pretty well from the. I mean, now I got the job.
You got the
leave
job,
that
I'm gonna
interview
say.
feeling confident.
I wasn't sure, so I couldn't be overconfident. I was like, but I don't think it went badly. So that was kind of my thing.
The reason why I ask that is sometimes I think it's really important to, like, we go and we prepare for interviews, and sometimes when we come out of an interview, it's really important to trust that gut feeling,
Yeah.
right?
I feel like
I felt
I
good
did.
about that.
Yeah, I did
right?
feel good, but then it took a while before I actually started
We're slow.
working.
We're
so-
slow at St. USO.
But I mean, the income was great. I worked, as a hostess freshman year, and I was like, okay, I'm not doing this again. Like, it was
Yeah.
great experience, but I just left with so much energy drained out of me. And whenever I came to work with like you guys, like it was the opposite effect. Like I had so much
Hey.
energy. It was great. You guys are amazing to work with. Ashley, you were my boss for 3 days before you moved. So best
like,
boss
nice
for
to
the
meet you.
shortest amount of time.
Yeah.
And I felt like I really got to get a deeper connection to the school because you are in the business school. It's related to your major.
Yeah.
I think this is the biggest life hack for any student. Work with your something related to what
Your
you want to
major.
do.
Yeah.
Your
Yeah.
major. So working in the business school, I was around you guys. I got to see what you guys wanted out of students, what, you would ask, questions you would ask me. And I also felt like I realized how much you guys actually like care about, the students. And you guys put a lot of effort into these events.
Mm.
And so from like a student point of view, you don't really realize how much effort goes into these events and how much thought goes into creating like networking events, what businesses to bring, like different workshops. So after I experienced that, I was like, okay, now I have to go to these events. Like I know how helpful they are and how much thought is put into this, into kind of like how our students really improve and like kind of develop really necessary skills in the workplace that you need. And so being kind of like on the backside of it, I felt like I had to come support. And also I got to see and meet people in the business school and see what was going on. So it was a great experience. I feel like I developed so much. I feel thanks to you guys, just being around, the team and Jeff and being around great people who really care about their students and really see what what the need is in the workplace. And you guys are taking initiative to kind of put together through these, different events. So I'm rambling, but it was a great experience. I think a lot of my personal growth and my professional growth, I owe it to you guys and working there and my experience as a student assistant.
Well, I would say you owe it to yourself.
Yeah, give yourself some
because
credit. That's what I was going to say.
You really took initiative, and I know this dives into our next question, so I'll let Jill take it away. But you're really the one who, yes, we're planning these events, but you took it on yourself to go show up to those events.
Yeah, you dressed up, you showed up, you had your resume ready, you prepared, you talked to us beforehand. So those are some of the same things that other students can do. That's part of the coaching pieces that we offer. So anyway, making those connections. You talked a little bit, I feel like, about the pros and cons, which was one of my questions. So I don't know, what was your favorite event that you attended, or maybe most successful, or something you might want to tout to students to be on the lookout, because we'll probably offer it again.
This is a great one. You know how every semester you have like a big networking event, tabling event? Mm-hmm. That was the first event, and the first, I think, project working with you, Ashley, was creating the name tags for that event. Mm. And I remember attending, and it was my first, I think, the one that semester of, like, sophomore year for fall. And I remember coming in, and that last table was Merrill Lynch. And that last table is what got me that job. Nice. So that was a really big one. And it was kind of funny that was like the first project that I ever worked on with you guys. So
this is interesting that you bring that up, because I can't remember where I was at, but somebody gave me a pro tip once that was, if you are looking to just kind of expand your network, a really good way to do that is volunteering at a check-in table. Mm-hmm. If you're doing like employer stuff.
Oh, so then you can shake hands with everybody coming up. Like, they see your face.
Who the employers are who are coming in.
And you feel more comfortable.
Yes.
Because I could see the names beforehand. Like I felt like I was a lot more comfortable because I helped kind of do
make
something.
It happen. Yeah, make it happen.
Life. Even that small little portion with the name tags. So I do think that gave me kind of a better mentality going into it. Yeah.
What do you like about the event, just out of curiosity?
I think the ability to practice your networking skills. And you're talking to people who are there for you. And also you're able to see, other people and see like who in your school is also coming to these events. And you're like, okay, they would be good. And I think I met someone there at the beginning of that event, and they were the ones who were like, okay, get out your LinkedIn and use it. And they showed me the QR code LinkedIn, and I don't even bring a resume. I bring my LinkedIn QR code, because realistically, unless they're looking for a job then and there, they're not going to keep a paper copy of your resume unless you send it to them via email after that connection. Mm-hmm. But I feel like LinkedIn nowadays is a lot better unless you're going to like a job fair. Right. But a networking event, I guess maybe in that case you could also say the opposite. Bringing your resume helps you stand out. Yeah. But I think using the LinkedIn. And so I, like, at the beginning of that event, learned about the LinkedIn, used the LinkedIn the rest of the day. And then that last table, that last LinkedIn Connect was what allowed me to get my job at Merrill.
I like it. I think you've said some key points there. About being prepared, number one way or another, but meeting other students that are in maybe a career field or area did that help you with starting your student organization? I'm just curious. Did you meet some students there? Or?
Yeah. So the interesting thing is everyone at Scholars of Finance, that fresh, like sophomore year, my sophomore year, other people's junior years and so on. Everyone was based in Tampa. I was the only one based in St. Pete, so we were all virtual. So I didn't meet them until our very first event. Okay. So yeah, I would say that helped me along the way. Even if, as a finance major, networking with people outside of finance is very important as well. Right. And so I take that with me whenever I go to any event.
And the other thing I was going to say is you mentioned practice, right?
Yes.
This is a no risk or low risk type
Yeah.
event.
Yeah.
I mean, you still have to show up
Mhm.
and dress up and be somewhat prepared, but having that opportunity to practice and get the nerves out and then just talk to people. That's all it is. You're just talking. You're just trying to get to know them. And when we did the practice your pitch,
Yes, I was going to say
just to
elevator
warm
pitch.
students up to what you're going to do when you kind of come to an event, whether it's a job fair, an info session, a networking event, that you feel more comfortable talking, but also listening, and then trying to do a little give and take, having a true conversation. It's not just blah, here's who I am and list all these things, but okay, here's who I am. What's going on with your company? Or, hey, I researched this and saw that this is something new that you're trying. We've been studying that in one of my classes. You know, it's this nice ebb and flow.
Yes. And in a sense, I would say it's easier than when you do like a traditional elevator pitch.
Yeah.
You know, you're not having that back and forth.
Right.
Realistically, you know, that's a really good thing to learn how to do. Realistically, when you're actually networking, it's more of a conversation.
Yes, that's
but
what
you do
want.
take you take elements of both. So going to like that workshop and then also going and actually practicing it, I think is the best way to improve your networking skill. And it's a skill. It's not something people are born with. It's not you're extroverted or introverted. It's literally just, are you going to put in the work to learn how to do a said skill?
And it paid off.
Yeah.
I'm going to let you take, because it led to the next topic.
So we're going to dive into more of Merrill Lynch in just a moment, because I know that was where you built your connection with them. But one of the things, and I'm excited because we are literally talking to you fresh off of an internship with Nestle.
Yes.
And one of the things I think back to when I was doing career coaching that I would always talk about is how important it is to have multiple internship or multiple job experiences before you graduate, so that by the time that you graduate, you have a better understanding of what you like and what you don't like. Jill's probably tired of hearing me say this, but I say it's like trying multiple like scoops of ice cream, right? You figure out what you like, what
Sample
you don't
them.
like. Yeah.
How dare you bring up ice cream?
You walk into an ice cream shop, I'll have the strawberry, the coconut, mint chocolate chip.
You said it right.
Yes.
Always sample before you choose.
Exactly. So you've just had 2 experiences. And so can you talk to us a little bit about what has been your success in landing two experiences?
Yeah. So, first one was networking, going to these events. You know, you never know who you're going to meet. Expose yourself to as many things as possible. And college, like your 4 years here, or give or take 3, 5, depending on who you are, is the best way to expose yourself. And I would say, you know, that second internship, that second experience, that was from, you know, doing that video with you guys with the foundation scholarships. Jeff was like, okay, we have a student here who can be in this video. And I applied for a scholarship and I got the scholarship, and it used to be the previous CEO of Nestle USA, Presley, and he was an alumni. And so that was the scholarship. And in order to actually get the money, you had to attend like a 3-day virtual diversity leadership symposium.
Oh,
and
cool.
that third day was just full of interviews. Little did I know, was full of interviews. Somehow passed them. I have no idea how. And I got the role to join the internship. And so be open to experiences and be open to seeing where they lead. Because
I was going to say, holy cow, you were applying for a
Yeah.
scholarship.
Yeah.
So like, and it was like, I got so many no's, like no, like all the emails that come in, and all it takes is one yes. And so that one yes, it's a scholarship, but it led you to an internship. Like, that's, you never know where things are going to lead you.
And we did a plug for scholarships. We have a whole episode on how to apply.
Foundation scholarships, apply to them. Apply to as many as possible.
Right. Because we really sometimes are looking for students to give the money to.
Yeah.
Yes.
And
Yes.
anyway, Go ahead. What were you
Yeah.
going to say?
Well, no, I just think to myself, I think sometimes we count ourselves out before we're even given that shot, right? We think, oh my gosh, there must be so many people applying to this.
I don't
won't
have
do
experience.
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
do this,
And
that.
then on the back
Mhm.
end,
Right.
people are like, it's like raffles, right? People are like, oh my gosh, like we just need 10 people to apply. So, you know,
Yeah.
you have no idea how many people are actually applying. And that's not always the case, right? Sometimes you have several people apply, but you just never know. So if you're the one counting yourself out, just don't be the one to count yourself out.
Yeah. And one thing I'll say that I learned was as I kind of grow through my college career is that companies look at students like an invaluable resource because you are young, you have more experience with AI, you can learn more. So being young, being inexperienced, being new, fresh is an asset. So thinking of it the opposite, because I was also like, even going into these networking events, I was like, why do people want to talk to me? Like I have nothing. Like you guys have been in the industry. Like I'm so intimidated. And I'm like, what do they see in me? Like I don't know anything. I have zero experience. But that's the thing. Companies are looking for interns. Like there's a reason that they put so much money into these internship programs. They're looking for talent, and you know, coming from a very, very finance perspective, but I was on the Moji team, marketing and other general expenses. And the biggest cost is your salary, your headcount cost on that section. And so even from like that perspective, it's like your biggest investment is the people and your employees that work for you. And so if you are willing to grow, it's that ability to grow. It's not how much you know, it's that ability, that potential that companies really see in students. And so everyone loves students. Go out and talk to people. You know, you can't do that when you graduate. You can't say, yeah, I'm a student, I would love to learn more. Like people love talking about themselves, you know?
Yeah, so true.
So yeah.
I like that idea. The fresh perspective. I always think about the energy that you're going to bring, thinking about things.
You're new, bright-eyed, you know.
Right. And also maybe you haven't been beat down in a sense.
Exactly.
You may have had some no's in a different arena, but not in that employment type
and
arena.
Being naive and being naive is a strength essentially because you just don't know what your limits are. So don't limit yourself to that, you know.
Awesome.
Yeah. I love it.
Great advice. Hey, I mean, why we even have questions? We could just keep going.
Just yap.
Yeah, it's going. Yeah. So you talked a little bit about Nestle, and I don't know, maybe we can compare and contrast. But you did Merrill Lynch first, right?
Yes.
You had that came off of the networking workshop that we did. So if you want to maybe talk a little bit about your faves, least faves, or maybe learning curves, challenges.
Oh,
with
absolutely.
Each. Yeah.
So both were a really big learning curve. I would say the biggest con for Merrill was that I was commuting from Tampa into St. Pete. So I was driving at least like 3 hours a day. But I think there were so many positives that outweighed the cons. I worked with incredible people. I didn't even know what a client associate was. Like I had no idea. I went into it, you know, I don't even know why they hired me because I had no idea what it was. The people there, I think the people that you work around and you surround yourself with and that you learn from, like I was the most incompetent person in that building, you know, and that's the place that you want to be. And I really learned hands-on. It was client focused. So, you know, my experience working as a hostess, working with
in
you
our
guys.
Office,
Yeah. And my experience, you know, high school working at the St. Louis Carousel. Like those all really came into play with customer service because essentially financial services, you're servicing others. You know, you're doing it for another person. And especially in wealth management. So you kind of learn how to kind of differentiate yourself and switch it on when you're talking to different types of people. And also, you know, different things like how wealth management works. I really got to see why networking is so important because realistically, like in the real world, the world is run by relationships. That's just kind of the realness of it. And the people in my team were so incredible. I just learned so much from them. And it was very much like how to present yourself and then also that technical knowledge. And I learned hands-on.
Right.
I love classes. I know you're a professor, Ashley, so I can't be saying this. I might don't take
go
it too
for
harshly.
it.
I learned something one and it goes out the other in class. But I realized that you learned the most by doing. And so doing rather than sitting behind a desk or a screen only can give you so much, especially with AI. Like you got all the other stuff that you get, you outsource to AI. So like ChatGPT. And so that's why I think experience is so important. Now, on the other hand, I was working at Merrill, which is very highly regulated. So another thing that I really loved was innovation. So I wanted to see what it was like from a fast-paced, more kind of different financial side of things. It was very relationship focused. And so working in financial services for like a year part-time to switching to an internship in the largest CPG company, consumer packaging goods company. It was very different. So it was also very big. So Nestle is very much more international, while Merrill Lynch is very much more, only United States. There's regulations if you go outside the country, for safety purposes, very highly regulated because you're dealing with people's money. So you also realize how important it is. You can't make a mistake because you're dealing with your people's money, and people can be very emotional with their money. Fraud happens all the time. Learned that. And so it's really incredible. And like things can, like if you don't have, if you're like older and you're falling for, some scams, or if you like, I've learned how important it is to set yourself up financially.
Yeah.
Even if you're a student, even if you're not, set up those accounts, set up your IRA. I mean, okay,
Start
look,
young. Start young.
Don't listen to me. I'm not licensed or anything, so I don't want to get sued or anything like that. But also like do your research. And then 2, working in a CPG company, it was really cool to see the products that you use. Everything is Nestle. Like I'm San Pellegrino. Garden of Life is Nestle Health. So I worked in Nestle Health, not necessarily Nestle.
Oh, okay.
And Nestle Health
I was
really
wondering
cool.
why you didn't bring us chocolate back, because I'm like,
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I could have brought the cookie dough.
any.
That's
Okay,
my
that's
favorite.
back.
But like Garden of Life, Orgain, like Nestle Health Science compared to Nestle USA. So there's a lot going on. Nestle Health Science is where I was placed in. It could have been placed anywhere within the United States. And I got placed in New Jersey. And so Nestle Health Science was more geared towards like supplemental health, even like tube feeding if you can't. If you can't eat, if you're special needs, you have to eat through a tube. So it was also cool to see how, that's a very different side than Merrill, and it was really cool to see cross-functional teams working together versus a very finance-driven side. This was like you're using finance to drive products. And so I was more in like going from like a client perspective and client-focused relationship. You're now going from the back-end support where you're doing corporate stuff. And it was looking at numbers, and it was really painful because I was not used to it. So it was definitely like a learning curve there. I had to learn Power BI, ChatGPT, YouTube, the iLearns that they had there, like really helped. And, my team was fully virtual. So I didn't get that like in-person experience that you couldn't really, you can only really get in person. But it also taught me at least how to work virtually, but also it was hybrid. So I still came in person, and, I met people from the Manila. So like Nestle, the headquarters are in Switzerland, but it's global. And the biggest global market is Nestle USA. But we also have Nestle China, we have Turkey, you have Brazil. It's like everywhere. So it was also very international, which I really loved because USF, one of my favorite things about USF is that it's a very international school. And for some reason, I ended up making most of my friends are from different countries. So it felt very at home. It was really cool.
Nice.
So it was also cool to see that aspect. Con, I would say the virtual aspect. And also like it was cool to see both aspects. I love working with that client relationship. It was very personal. And I also loved learning and seeing, a different side of finance. So that was a very long-winded, as you can tell, I'm a big rambler, but I think that was a very long-winded response to.
But it paints a great picture for students to understand the difference with those two internships.
Yes.
I mean, I have way more questions, but we'll have to do a part 2. So,
here's a maybe just more of a personal question for you, because I know I had the opportunity to sit down with you before you left, and now we're sitting down, and I know as you are exploring your career and heading into your last year here at USF and thinking about where do you go from here, do you feel that having both of those opportunities has given you more direction in terms of where you think you would like to go or maybe not go?
A lot more than I did before. I remember I was coming to you and I was like, Ashley, I don't know if should I try and do this intern? I was going crazy. I felt bad about leaving after a year of working at Merrill to go do this internship. I felt like, oh my God, they're going to hate me. I'm going to, I don't know how to tell them. What should I do? Am I ruining this opportunity? And I think you put into perspective again that college is really the only time you can take those ice cream samples. You can do the internships, and you don't really get that opportunity when you're in the workforce. Yeah, you can, maybe move around. Also, another thing about Nestle, which is completely off track, is that you're very much welcome to move around every 2 to 3 years. Oh. So you can try many different things.
So totally different aspects of that company, right?
Yes, totally different. And they want you to do that because they want you to have that background and different areas to really get that end-to-end thinking.
What's next?
What's next is a good question. That's something
I was going to save it for the end, but I'm like, what's next? What's next for Sammy?
Okay,
what are you going to do?
Senior year. Okay, this is the year to really focus on what is next. That's a good question. I think I've realized how important personal branding is. So I think focusing a little bit more of what I want to pursue in the next 10 years, but also kind of, okay, when you get exposure to new things, you realize how much you barely got exposure to.
Right.
And then you're after that internship, I was like, dang, I should have had internships all years. If you're a freshman, get that internship. Right. But for me personally, I think I'm glad this is kind of I'm kind of contradicting myself, but that freshman year was definitely a personal development year for me.
There's a lot going on.
There's a lot going on.
It's okay to,
so learning how to be a human. So I would definitely say, don't compare yourself to other people. Also going completely off track. So what's next for me? God, I have no idea.
That's okay.
And that's okay. And that's the beauty of it, I think. I like not knowing, which is very different from a lot of other people, I think. But I think it opens you up to a lot more opportunities, and it gives you the ability to kind of pivot. You're not set in stone to those ideas. So
can I ask, is that a different mindset than before you took these 2 internships? Being okay with the unknown?
Yes.
Okay.
I've always been, I have a cousin who is going into pre-med. She there's a track for that.
Right.
There's
it's
a track for that. It's all laid out. You just got to grind and kind of suffer through it. And I'm very much a little bit more different. I'd like to say I like the unknown. I think it's a little less boring. It's a little more ooh, what's going to happen next? And I think I'm a little crazy for it, but there's a lot of other people that are like that, so I'm not the only crazy one. And I think because there's always going to be unknown, I think my worst fear is staying the same. My worst fear in life is looking back 10 years from now and being the exact same person. I think changing is going to happen no matter what. Yeah. So you have to embrace it. And the biggest way to embrace that is your time at college, because, your brain is the most plastic. You get exposed to the most different things, moving out. Moving out was also one of the best growing experiences for me, leaving, going 13 hours. And I also see that with a lot of my friends who come from different countries as well. They're moving countries, not even, states. So they're growing, I'm growing, and you find like the people who are growing with you. So I think, yeah, not knowing is you either embrace it or you're scared of it. So you got to choose which side you're on.
You just have such an incredible mindset. When you were sharing something with Jill earlier about your time at Merrill, you had shared about this idea of not feeling like you were the smartest person in the room, right?
Yes. Yeah.
And being okay with that, right? And I think that is such an important mindset to have. I think so often we get intimidated of walking into spaces where if we don't know something, right, there's a shame or embarrassment that comes along with not knowing. But what comes with that is you're surrounding yourself with knowledge and learning from people who have other experiences. And so, Sammy, just keep doing what you're doing, my friend.
This has been great. I appreciate you highlighting the importance of relationships, really just taking some risks, putting yourself out there, and feeling okay to be awkward or feel like you're not the smart
You just got to take, this is what I tell myself is like, when something bad happens, I'm just like, okay, take the L and move on. Just keep going.
Yeah.
Like it's going to happen, but like just really develop the skill or the mindset of just moving on. Like, yeah, something happened. You failed in a class. Oh, well, move on. Like,
right.
In the grand scheme of things, it really does not matter.
And what did you learn from that? Because from a fail, you know what I mean? Or if you don't pass that, because I always think sometimes and I know I was a type A, I had to make A's, and when I'm
type B, so maybe
freaked out. Hey,
maybe
but
that's the secret.
We get along.
We do get along, yes.
And I appreciate that you always are checking in. You come by. She says hi to us still. You know,
oh my God, I love.
We need to know. We need to hear what's happening. We want to know and see the impact that USF, your time here, the experiences. But anyway, where I was going to go with that.
Just being around you guys is just.
We appreciate
incredible.
you. We appreciate you sharing your story today and hopefully encouraging some other students to maybe look for a job on campus, to go for an internship, a scholarship, study abroad, do something, because I think what you had said was once you open that camp, it's like, now what else could I do? Oh my gosh, I wish I would have done another internship. Okay, well, maybe my time is running out at college, but maybe I'll look at a grad program, or I'll do something else that allows me that opportunity to keep experiencing and trying new things.
Yes. And I'd say like, go to those networking events, go to those workshops. In LPH, there's a board.
We have a branding, so be on the lookout. Ashley, aren't you doing something with the Bishop Center? Aren't you kind of focused?
Yep.
Okay. So students, keep a lookout. Yes, always.
Yes, definitely take pictures of those QR codes that you see. And don't just take a picture, put it on your calendar so you actually go to it.
Follow through.
Follow through.
Yeah.
Follow through.
All right. Well, thanks for tuning in to another episode of Getting Down to Business. We'll see you